How to counter ad hominem arguments. Fair use, educational purposes. Although that only applies to the person, I'm not a person. I'm a man, I'm an individual. Very much alive, thank you very much. The main issue with ad hominem arguments is that they focus on information that is irrelevant to the discussion at hand, but that they also present this information in a manner which could nevertheless influence the result of the discussion. As such, you have several options to choose from when it comes to countering ad hominem arguments. Point out the irrelevance of the ad hominem attack. You can do this by pointing out that the personal attack has nothing to do with the argument at hand and by calling out your opponent on their use of this fallacy. It's best to not become defensive when doing this, and if necessary, you should go on the offence and ask your opponent to justify whether their personal attack on you is relevant to the discussion. Respond to the attack. In some cases, you might want to fully address the ad hominem attack, even if it's not directly relevant to the discussion at hand. This is a reasonable course of action when the attack has to do with factors such as your motives, which might be relevant to the discussion somehow, but it's generally not recommended in cases when the attack is strictly personal or abusive and has nothing to do with the discussion. Ignore the attack. You can choose to keep the discussion going while refusing to engage with the personal attack that your opponent made. This can work in some cases, and especially when ignoring the personal attacks makes you appear more credible by showing that you refuse to stoop to your opponent's level. However, in some cases this isn't a viable option, and especially when you feel that not responding will imply that you agree with whatever was said against you, even if it's not relevant to the discussion. Acknowledge the attack and move on. This is similar to ignoring the ad hominem attack, except that you first acknowledge the attack in order to show that you don't care about it before moving on with the discussion. This doesn't necessarily mean that you have to agree with the attack, rather it means that you have to show that you are aware of it, which might look better than ignoring it entirely. To do this, you can use language such as, I get it, that you think that I'm whatever, a flatard, a retard, an idiot, whatever. Yeah. But that doesn't have anything to do with what we're discussing here, so I'm not going to address it. Keep in mind that in some cases you can choose to counter-attack with personal attacks of your own when your opponent uses an ad hominem attack against you. However, this means that you are resorting to logically fallacious arguments, so think carefully before you choose to do this. Furthermore, stooping to your opponent's level and responding to personal attacks against you with personal attacks of your own can reflect badly on you in the eyes of others, because people don't understand, you see. They don't understand about fallacies and all this sort of stuff. They don't understand how all this stuff works and how these paid trolls and all these commenters online and stuff like that, how they operate. They're swayed by words and language, and generally destroys any chance of engaging in a productive dialogue. The one way in which it can be relatively acceptable to respond to an ad hominem attack with an attack of your own is to use a similar form of attack that was used against you, in order to show that such an attack presents information that is irrelevant to the discussion at hand. For example, Alice, I think that we should increase the federal spending on education. No, I think we should get rid of the state education altogether and bring in and start teaching children the trivium and the quadrivium and stuff, like I said in the last video. Bob, you are only saying that because you want to support the president that you voted for. Alice, not really. Just as I hope you're not arguing against it only because you want to support the president that you voted for. It gives you some sort of idea, but I don't vote. It's pointless. It's politics. It's pointless. They're not going to listen to what anybody says. It's what they want, their agendas. Most importantly, remember that ad hominem attacks are personal, but shouldn't be taken as such. As such, whichever approach you choose to use in order to counter these arguments, make sure to remain calm and to not let this type of attack get to you, since that's one of the main reasons why people will use it against you in the first place. 'Don't be a snowflake, don't let it get to you. Just brush it off and say, look, no, I recommend just pointing out that it's fallacious and pointing out that it's an ad hominem attack and everything else, or what type of ad hominem attack. There's also the name calling fallacy as well, which I'm going to stick on it. I'm going to do a little video just to write. It was in one of my old videos about the master list of logical fallacies. It's in there somewhere, but I'm going to do another little one after doing these ones, just to put the name calling fallacy in there to remind people. I'm going to do another one in a minute now. I'm always told there's no such thing as in a minute now. It's either in a minute or now. How to avoid using ad hominem arguments yourself. I'll be in the next one. Okay, thank you. Bye.